Happy Saturday, everybody. Here again at our new place. The front part of our property is all Chardonnay. They're about 35 years old, roughly. And then the back part is Cabernet Sauvignon. So we have about 6 acres in the front, about 7.5, roughly 7 acres of Cabernet Sauvignon in the back. What's going to be happening this week is we're going to do shoot position. So shoot position is basically separating the shoots here, as well as cleaning up the leaves, right? Because we are going to start getting these, start opening the exposure to the beautiful grapes. Now to not to stifle them or suffocate them, kind of, so to speak. If they're too covered with leaves, they have a tendency to get mildew. And so we want to, there's sprays to control the mildew, but there's also, which we'll use, which are going to be they're going to be green rated spray, and that protects the grapes so they can continue growing and continue to ripen. But we're also going to do hand clean the vines. We're going to lift up the large growth you see here all along every single row, and we're going to now expose, see how these grape leaves are covering the beautiful grapes which are underneath. So now we're going to open them up and expose the beautiful grapes. So we're going to be exposing the grapes, so just to get more airflow in there, as well as above too. We have to open up some airflow around. So we're going to have a group of folks coming in next week and starting to open this up so we can get more airflow, and so these babies can keep on doing their thing and grow and ripen and all that wonderful stuff before harvest, which is going to be a few months away. So we'll be coming in here and just kind of cleaning up, pull some of these leaves, some of these little verticals here, those aren't necessary, so we're going to go ahead and knock that off. So there's fully concentration of growth for the grapes themselves, and get all the energy to the grapes. And so we'll come in here and we'll clean up, as you can see here. I'll be probably with the crew as well this week doing this. Allergies are really a bummer, but it happens. And you have these little growers here. We don't need that because we want this to fully concentrate all the grapevine's energy to the fruit. So we'll come in here and clean it up, expose the grapes, get more airflow in here, and then make sure that these vines, these shoots, are in the perfect position, and open them up so they can actually see the wire here. We're going to lift the wire up. You do it on the ends. We lift the wire up so the wire is more up here than down below, and we have better exposure. Just coming in here and cleaning it up. I'm going to do the same thing with the Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon is a little bit behind the Chardonnay. That's just, of course, normal, because Chardonnay will be ripening much sooner. It'll be ripening probably somewhere in September, maybe the end of August. But again, it's all about Mother Nature. We actually going to get some rain tomorrow here in Napa Valley. A little bit of rain, but right now it's a nice day. It's about 72, full on cloud cover. There's that wire I was telling you about. See the wire right here? And it's about a slight breeze, not really much. It feels kind of dry right now, but again, what the grapes are susceptible to is mildew. So we have to do some mildew control, and we do that part of it naturally, right, through removing the leaves, so we can get some better airflow. So that's what's on the docket for this week, and I'll be showing that as well. See how that guy in there? Look at that. Right, we don't need that, right? So we pull that out. It's not necessary. You open these guys up a little bit to get a little airflow, more airflow in there. Yeah, and then we're also going to, it's called disc. You take a tractor and you dig up the soil, kind of move the soil around, and you get rid of all the cover crop here. So the energy and the water is not taken by the cover crop, it's taken by the grapes. So that's real key. So that's going to be probably part of this week, or maybe mid-June, but all this will be redone. And you can see some of the vineyard has some vines that have been struggling for years for either disease or lack of water, or some gophers. If they were struggling, the gophers look at them as easy prey, especially if there wasn't cover crop for the gophers to eat the roots. So then the gophers would eat anything fresh, which would be the roots of the vine. This is looking good because this one is going to survive from this stock here. Basically a new stock has come up. So we're gonna next year we're gonna keep this, and then this winter coming into spring of next year, we'll tie this one up, and that will be our new vine. There's one here too. We might bring that guy over, put him over there. This one here is toast. Unfortunately, there's no more life in this little guy. It's a bummer. It's really sad when you see vineyards that have this type of dead vines. So that's one thing. When I bought this property, that was one thing that was kind of tearing my heart apart, is look at how gorgeous the vines are when they're healthy and they're taken care of, but when they're not, or they're not being properly fed, taken care of, nourished, loved, etc., you'll get some die-off. Now, die-off will happen sometimes for disease, but then, you know, usually the following year you'll replant, or you'll wait another year and then you'll replant the following year. See, look at these are gopher holes right there. It's a gopher hole here. So there's some gophers underneath here for sure. But at least they're eating some of the roots of the cover crop. But yeah, so here's one that's coming back. Look at that nice, beautiful bunch. Unfortunately, there's not enough leaf coverage. I wish there was, because then you wouldn't get kind of this browning here, which this will probably, after this week, will be, you know, it probably won't survive. It's going to be sunburned. It's not going to be covered and protected. You can see these guys are a little more covered and protected. But this plant is not doing so well, but it's coming back. This one here is coming back a bit too. This one looks a little bit better. But then you compare it to this one over here, right? This is much better. So then you have, here's a shoot here. So the shoot's got to go underneath. Obviously, we got to push it underneath the wire. We got to move this guy. Can move this guy under the wire and make sure he's nice and safe. Then all these guys, you'd come in and clean up. More of this too. We don't need that. It takes the energy that we need for the grapevines or for the grape bunches. So this guy is happy, but it's, you know, new one's coming. So we're going to save him for next year. And this side here is, though it's facing the east, which is the eastern side, this is the most intense sun in the morning, all on this side of the vineyard. And then on the opposite side, say over here, this is the western facing. So you tend to get less intense sun in the afternoon, generally. And we have nice tree coverage as well. So it just depends on the position of the grapevines. Talking to a few of the experts, they said that the way that they positioned the rows back in the day, is different now, just because of climate change, you know, which means heat, etc. That now they're on like a 35-degree diagonal path. So more, instead of north to south, they would be on a 33-degree diagonal. So they go this way now. So that's part of our redevelopment plan, is to put in some new vineyards over a period of time. Obviously, can't do it right away. Right away is, you know, it's in the plan, but it's not right away. And so, you know, here we are with the Chardonnay. And I'm going to take you to the back to show you also the difference in leaves, right? People ask, well, how can you tell that's a Chardonnay versus a Cabernet Sauvignon versus a Merlot, et cetera, et cetera? Well, I'm no expert, not yet, but I just don't have enough time in the saddle to identify those vines. I could taste the fruit and pretty much identify it. I'm pretty good with that, but leaf structure, not yet. But every grapevine has I would say, a thumbprint, and it's their leaves, the shape of their leaves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a shape of the leaf, and you can also the size too, not only the shape but the size. So I'm going to grab this guy here, and then I'll show you the difference between this guy and Cabernet Sauvignon. So let's get in the car. I got my coffee, second coffee for the day. Get in, take you with me. Roll down the window. Take you for a ride. All right, here we go. We have some weeds to weed whack as well. Down everywhere, basically. So, but look at, yeah, see, they're looking really good. Some are super vigorous, you know. When it's vigorous, it means, I mean, they're really cranking out the leaves and the vines, which is really, you know, the shoots, which is fantastic. But yeah, this week we just had to clean this up, and I'll show you what that's going to look like I said earlier. And you'll see the difference. You'll really see the difference. See, kind of like they're overgrown. They got to be just, better managed. But I heard from the vineyard manager that he hasn't seen these grapes do this well since he's taken over this property a couple of years back. So I'm going to have to say they're happy they have a new owner too, right? That's what I'm thinking. Not only the extra water regimen that we put together, but they're happy there's a new owner. So I'm going to take you back here. The cool thing is that I could take you around the entire property, like I showed you before, around the entire property in the car, which is great. A couple of the equipment stopped working, like the ATV and all that good stuff. I think it's a flat tire or something, so we got to take care of that. We have some tenants here in this house. See, there's the house right there. Well, that's part of it. Wait till Suzanne gets her hands a hold of it. And what we're going to do, there's a big dog. There's a big dog. All right, go over here. And I'm going to go around in this area here. This is like the filet mignon of the vineyard right over here. So I'm going to just show it to you. I'm going to park right here and show it to you and how awesome it is. So here we are. I'm going to park. Okay, take you with me. All right, here we go. Sorry if my face is right in the middle of it all. Okay, let me get the more gophers right there. Means that they're happy. So, Chardonnay leaf compared to, here's your Chardonnay leaf compared to Cabernet Sauvignon. So let me snap one of these babies off. Obviously it's smaller. They don't get as big as this Chardonnay, which actually there's bigger ones that I've seen. But if you look at this guy here, see the difference. So Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay, and here's a comparison. And this is a 337 clone. There you go. To see that? Maybe there's a better I could represent. Maybe this one here. This one looks nicer. Okay. Get this guy with me and do that. All right, there we go. Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay. Pretty cool, huh? yeah, you can see we have to do shoot position for these guys too. Shoot position here is we'd have to drop these guys down. See the wire? I'm going to drop these guys down, make sure the chutes are in the right position, right? And then drop the wire down. It's all done by hand, not a machine. And you can see too how the Cabernet Sauvignon is still small, still way behind, but that's normal. Again, we won't harvest Cabernet Sauvignon for at least a month after the Chardonnay. But yeah, all the vines are happy too. We'll also do some weed control over here, which basically is a weed whacker. And we're gonna do some mildew control as well, which is normal, to keep the air flowing through the grapevines, and so there's no mildew, and they grow and ripen, because mildew will slow that down, and if you don't take care of it, it will actually kill it. And something like this, look at, we don't need that, right? We take that guy off. Don't need this guy. Don't need this guy here. Look how pretty that is. Look at that. Awesome, right? It's just gorgeous. So we'll be doing that this week. It's gonna be a busy week, busy week. But this whole month of June will be a very busy week as it relates to vineyard management, getting the grapes and the vines in the right position so they can continue their growth. We'll be doing fertilizing. We'll be going through the rows, as I said before. We're going to get rid of the cover crop, loosen up the soil, and make these sad, right? Make these grapevines just shine and be ready for harvesting in September, October, or maybe November. Depends on how busy, not busy, but depends on how warm the summer is and what the weather's like. So we can't control that. Only Mother Nature can. Anyway, here we are for another show of the beautiful vines. Anyways, please, if you like this video, thumbs up, subscribe, and also leave a comment. If you have any questions, future videos, you know, anything, please send me those questions as well, and share with your friends too. Peace, love, cheers.